Skeletons of the Marital Closet by Tang. Chapter 1691. Strange. Was there something else in her dreams that he did not know about? Shawn leaned against the frame of the bathroom door. Gale, no contraceptive is 100% reliable. Do you get what I mean? She replied in a muffled voice, I understand. Even if they were careful, there was still a possibility of pregnancy. The probability was extremely low, but there is still a possibility. It was like winning the lottery. What if she won? Ah. Gale's mind was a mess, and she remembered her menstrual cycle. Right, how could she forget something so important? She could just calculate from her cycle. She tried to recall the last time her period came. Gale thought for a moment, but could not remember. However, every time she got her period, she habitually marked it on the calendar. Gale pulled back the covers, picked up the calendar from the bedside table, and flipped through it. It seemed like she did not make a mark on the calendar this month or the last month. Did she forget to mark it while she was in the hospital taking care of Joshua? Or did she really not get her period? Gale flipped back to the month before and finally saw the mark. Her last period came at the beginning of the month before the last. She did not have her period in just over 2 months. She was shocked that she forgot about it for 2 whole months. How could she have been so oblivious? Was that dream a premonition? Gale shuddered. Could it be that she was just really pregnant and unaware of it? Or perhaps, because she had been taking care of Joshua, her menstrual cycle got delayed due to exhaustion. Though, the delay was suspicious. Gale did not know how to bring it up with Shawn. Should she tell him she wanted a pregnancy test? After all, he was taking her for a checkup today. Shawn saw her staring at the calendar blankly, but did not say anything and silently took note. When Gale went to wash up, he picked up the calendar. There was nothing special, but every month, a circle was drawn on a certain day. The days were not fixed, but it was almost consistent. Someone must have drawn it as if recording some pattern except for last month and this month. Shawn quickly realized what it was. It was her menstrual cycle. He wondered if she was pregnant. Shawn was shocked. Should he be happy or worried? Having a child was, of course, a good thing. He, like Lucas, was old-fashioned and wanted a big family with lots of children. However, Shawn also felt worried for Gale's health. He did indeed take precautions every time. He would not let her get pregnant without her consent or without informing her. This was, however, something no one could control. Shawn kept his composure. He decided not to think too much for now. Everything would depend on the results of the hospital's examination. At the dining hall, Nicole's voice chimed, Dad, Mom, why are you so slow today? Joshua and I are almost done with breakfast. Shawn patted her head. Go ahead and finish up. There is no need to wait for us. Chapter 1692. What are you two busy with? You didn't come home last night, and you missed breakfast. We had work matters. They're almost sorted out, and I won't be working late tonight, Shawn replied. Joshua grinned at him. Hey, Shawn, do you have more free time coming up? He was trying to gauge if he could go to the space center. Shawn saw through him. Not really. Why? What's up? Shawn replied vaguely. I. At this moment, Joshua stuttered, feeling too embarrassed to speak directly. Joshua said, if you're free this weekend, could you take me, and Nicole, and Mommy on a trip? It's a good suggestion. We can arrange something, like a countryside trip or a beach vacation. Shawn nodded. No, those are boring. Besides, we can go to those places anytime. Oh? Then where do you want to go? Just as Joshua was about to answer, Shawn turned to Nicole and asked, Nicole, do you want to go to the beach? We can catch some crabs, walk on the sand, watch the sunrise and sunset, eat seafood, and even take a yacht out to sea for a spin. Yes. I'm happy to go wherever you guys go. Nicole responded. Great, let's settle. No. Joshua interjected anxiously, his words almost getting jumbled up. Wait, Shawn, can we go to the beach for 1 day instead of 2? Seeing his flustered appearance, Shawn worried he might choke, so he stopped teasing him. It seems that you have a destination in mind. Where do you want to go? Joshua's eyes sparkled. It was finally his turn to speak. Shawn, can I go to the space center? I want to see a real spaceship, meet astronauts, and take photos with them. But I know those places are very strict, and not everyone can get in. He exclaimed excitedly. Mommy said, you have your ways, and that you can take me in. So, can you help me fulfill my little wish? Joshua thought he had behaved well in front of Shawn these few days. Nicole even called him names and made fun of him. He thought he had buttered Shawn up enough. How could Shawn bear to refuse him? He looked expectantly at Shawn. Can we? I just want to visit. Shawn leaned back in his chair, tapping his fingers lightly on the table. Just a visit? He asked. Yes, absolutely no other demands. Shawn sighed suddenly. Too bad, I was thinking I could even arrange for you to experience the cockpit. But if you want just a visit, what? I can go to the cockpit? Joshua's excited voice was almost about to pierce through the ceiling. I'll go. I want to go. Really want to. Nicole looked at him puzzledly. Joshua, why are you so excited about that? You girls just don't understand. After a moment of thought, Nicole looked at Shawn. Daddy, since Joshua really wants to go there, let's go. I'm fine, we can go to the beach next time. Although she seemed to be disgusted with her brother on the surface, Nicole was still considering Joshua's feelings. With Nicole's support, Joshua felt that the visit was in the bag. Yeah, Shawn, look, Nicole wants to go too. So let's go this weekend, okay? Joshua said. Chapter 1693. His eyes were filled with anticipation. It seemed as though if Shawn agreed, he would leap up to touch the ceiling in joy. Conversely, if Shawn said he was not going, he would collapse right there on the spot. Shawn, everyone tells me that being your son is a great blessing. I can have everything I want. I haven't experienced these privileges yet. Do you want to prove it to me? Have you seen me these days? I've been behaving well, haven't I? I'm obedient, studious, doing homework with Nicole, never causing trouble for you and Mom, not meddling in your plans, not being a third wheel. If you fulfill this wish of mine, I'll obey you more in the future. Shawn nodded. All right. Joshua's eyes widened, somewhat disbelieving. All right? You agreed? Yes, fulfilling this wish of yours is not difficult for me. The Wood Group had sponsored aviation and space projects before, so arranging for Joshua to visit the Space Center was quite easy. He just had to ask. Yes. Joshua hugged him excitedly. Long live, Shawn. Shawn is the best. If Shawn was not a man, Joshua would have kissed him. Being your son truly sparks joy. Yes. Shawn grinned briefly. He felt it was fulfilling to make his family's dream come true. Joshua was thrilled, and so was he. Being my son, naturally, means getting whatever you want, Shawn said, glancing toward the entrance of the dining room. Gale had not arrived yet. Perfect. He had something to ask the two kids. Shawn's voice lowered significantly. Nicole, Joshua, how do you feel about having a sibling? Nicole asked. A sibling? Joshua replied. How do we feel about it? Yes. Daddy, are you planning to have another baby? Shawn replied. There's no plan for that at the moment. Just asking for your opinion. Then we should ask Mommy's opinion. Because it's Mommy who carries the baby, she has the right to decide whether we have another sibling. We can't decide for her. Then, are you willing to be a big sister? Yeah. Nicole smiled, dimples showing. Being a big sister means I can take care of people. Just like my brother takes care of me, I can care for our younger sibling. Shawn looked at Joshua. What about you? Joshua looked at him seriously. Shawn, why would you want to create another child? Create another child? What did he mean? Shawn did not understand. Yeah, we're doing well as we are. Aren't you too happy with us? We're excellent and smart, right? Why do you want to create another child? Joshua responded. He was a piano prodigy with an amazing memory. He was quick to learn anything. Nicole was also extremely intelligent, always at the top of her class, sensible and highly intelligent. Chapter 1694. With such wonderful children like Joshua and Nicole, why would Shawn even consider having another one? Did he and Nicole not do well enough? That was when Shawn finally understood Joshua. He was getting old, he did not understand how kids these days communicate. Shawn replied, I am just asking for your thoughts and opinions. Didn't you say that everyone should have a say when we have a decision to make? Yeah, so are we voting now? No, just casually asking. Under usual circumstances, Joshua would have spoken back by now. However, things are different now. He needed Shawn's help, so he was willing to play ball with Shawn. As long as you and Mom are happy, I support you. Having another one would be great. I hope it's a little brother, so I can be a big brother. Joshua said. So, you would only be in favor of it just because you want to be a big brother? No, I support you unconditionally. Joshua grinned at him. Shawn, when are we leaving for the Space Center? Can we go on Friday? For Joshua, the most important thing right now was to fulfill his dream. Everything else could wait. After he returned from it, he would not be the same person anymore. Leaving on Friday? Where are we going? What are you two discussing behind my back? Nicole blinked and silently gulped down her milk. We're going to the Space Center. I promised Joshua, Shawn said. Gale smiled. He's finally about to fulfill his wish. It hasn't been easy. From now on, she would not see Joshua acting like a lackey in front of Shawn anymore. She would miss seeing that. Mommy, it's settled. Don't change your mind at the last minute, saying you want to go somewhere else. I'll be upset with you. Joshua reminded her. Okay, our little boy wants to fulfill his dream. Who would dare to stand in his way? Joshua finally breathed a sigh of relief. Come on, Joshua. We're going to be late for school, Nicole urged. Joshua picked up his backpack, turning back as he walked, emphasizing, no flaking. He fought so hard for this opportunity, he could not afford any mistakes. Gale sat down. How could we possibly go back on our word? Shawn, you're not teasing him, are you? If I were teasing him, why would I agree? Good, then you don't want to continue enjoying his attentiveness? Shawn replied calmly, after he returns, he'll only be even more attentive to me. There were more things he could do for Joshua. Did Joshua only need him this once? There would be plenty more opportunities in the future. If he wanted to manipulate his son, he had plenty of tricks up his sleeve. Shawn poured a glass of milk and handed it to Gale, then suddenly remembered something and took it back. No, you need to go for a checkup, you can't eat anything. Gale was not really keen on going, but thinking about her delayed period and dreaming of being pregnant. She had better get a checkup soon, otherwise, she felt uneasy. Was she pregnant or something else entirely? She needed to know for sure. Chapter 1695. All right. Gale nodded. Suddenly, their phones rang, echoing in the dining hall. Shawn saw Fiona's name on the screen. Gale's call was from Summer. They exchanged a look, and then both answered the calls. Hello, Mr. Wood. The PR department just received a draft article and a set of photos. What kind of photos and what article? Shawn's expression changed. It's intimate photos of you and Ms. Park. The headline was President Wood's late-night tryst with female star, arms around each other's shoulders, half exposed. Shawn's face turned cold. Fiona continued, currently, there's no trace of this rumor on the internet, and these photos haven't been leaked yet. I believe the other party intends to threaten or blackmail you. Shawn spoke coldly. Any other updates? Not at the moment. The PR department is urgently convening a meeting. Mr. Wood, we need your decision on this matter. If this leaks out, it would certainly affect the image of the Wood Group and strain the relationship between him and his wife. In the eyes of many netizens, Mr. Wood and his wife were a model couple, affectionate, harmonious, and loving. There was even a saying, marrying Mr. Wood is like marrying into a lifetime of joy. If these photos were exposed, it would undoubtedly stir up public opinion against them. Mr. Wood's public image of a doting husband would come under attack, ridicule, and condemnation. I understand. Shawn hung up the phone. Although he had not seen the photos, he knew what they were. Last night, he and Ivy were alone together. Because her dress was too revealing, he had lent her his jacket. It was a purely kind gesture. However, who would have thought there were paparazzi around? He had not noticed at all. These paparazzi in the entertainment industry were really elusive and had exceptional hiding skills. More importantly, Shawn suddenly remembered Ivy had slipped at one point, and he had turned to help her up. How would that be depicted in the paparazzi shots? Would Gale believe him and Ivy? Shawn glanced sideways, and Gale was still on the phone. What do you think I saw? Gale, I can't believe my eyes. Summer asked. What did you see? Scandalous photos. Summer said, it's definitely scandalous. That woman with her shoulders half exposed, her sleeves almost slipping off, looking delicate and weak, she's like a fox. Of course, your man isn't any good either. What? Gale suddenly got interested. Whose scandal did you see? What happened? Is it a big deal? Do you have the photos? Let me see. Summer said impatiently, it's your Shawn. Gale's smile froze on his face. Of course, the other party is a female star, the beautiful, refined, and cool Ivy Park. Summer said angrily. Gale instinctively looked over at Shawn, beside him. Their eyes met. Summer, are you saying the scandal you mentioned involves Shawn and Ivy? Chapter 1696. Yeah. I came to the company this morning and just happened to have some business in the PR department. Then I stumbled upon Gale. Let me tell you, this thing is being tightly kept under wraps. Very few people know about it. If you go and confront Shawn, he might not even admit it. Summer became increasingly infuriated. I can't believe it. Yesterday, I earnestly advised him to treat you well and not to have wandering eyes. But, just overnight, wait a minute. This happened last night, which means before he came to the restaurant to pick you up, he was with Ivy. Arg. What kind of scoundrel is he? Gale's mind was buzzing. However, she was still calm in contrast to Summer. I understand, Summer. Thank you for telling me about this right away. I need to think about how to handle this. Do you still need to think? The photos are right there. Divorce him. The only way you can forgive him is if the photos are fake and someone photoshopped them. Otherwise, he's cheating, having an affair, he doesn't deserve you. I was just... Gale had not finished when her phone was already snatched away by Shawn. He directly hung up the call. What are you doing? I haven't finished speaking. Gale asked. Now she was getting annoyed too. Any woman, upon hearing about her husband's intimate behavior with another woman captured on camera, could not possibly remain calm. Moreover, Shawn had directly cut off her call. I know what Summer was saying. Gale, what are you thinking? The call you just took and what Summer said is about the same thing, right? Yes. Gale and he stared at each other. Neither of them spoke first, just gazing at each other, seeing their reflections in each other's pupils. Shawn and Ivy were indeed together last night. This was something Gale knew. Because Gale herself had arranged their meeting, she was the one who set them up. However, what Gale did not know was that Shawn and Ivy would behave so intimately. Moreover, Summer did not use the term intimate photos but scandalous photos. One could imagine how unsightly those photos must be. They were probably just shy of catching them in bed. Could it be that her efforts ultimately pushed her husband into Ivy's arms? After a while, Gale said, Shawn, I think I need an explanation. I can explain. But Gale, do you believe me? She answered without hesitation, of course, I believe you. Shawn's eyes softened a bit, the tense atmosphere dissipating slightly. She believed him. There was still ample trust between them. But, before seeing the photos, I dare not say I 100% believe you, she continued. Last night, you were with Ivy, and I sent you there. Originally, I was supposed to be there too. But in the end, I thought about it and chose to go to visit Summer instead. Shawn, you are my husband. I trust you, and I also believe you wouldn't do anything to betray me. As for Ivy, she's not the type to climb the ladder by leeching off a man. Surely, there must be a misunderstanding. The truth needs to be revealed. Gale did not know what exactly the photos captured. It should be very intimate, something that only couples or spouses would do. Chapter 1697. It surely would not just be a hug. Why would there be these suggestive or even incriminating actions between Shawn and Ivy when their relationship should be pure? She really wanted to believe in Shawn completely, but trust could lead to devastating betrayal. Ivy was so beautiful and independent, possessing qualities that attracted Shawn. Shawn himself has admitted to admiring Ivy. When they were alone, what if sparks were flying between them, and they could not resist each other? Gale shook her head, trying not to dwell on such thoughts. Let's go. I want to see those photos with my own eyes. She stood up. Gale, you still need to go to the hospital. Tomorrow then. I'm not in the mood to get checked now, and I can't wait anymore, Gale said. Shawn understood her mindset very well. All right. Gaily, I haven't seen those photos either, but I can assure you, it won't be the intimate behavior you imagine, he agreed. What could the photos be if he had not done anything of the sort? Could they be fake? The only things he had done were, firstly, helping Ivy with her coat and, secondly, assisting her when she nearly stumbled. Apart from that, they had not entered a room together, and they had not been alone. They sped toward the Wood group. It was so intensely quiet that Gale had to roll down the window and hear the sound of the wind to feel more at ease. She did not dare to overthink. She was truly afraid that Ivy, the celebrity she had painstakingly found as the spokesperson for Lovito, the female star she wanted to lend a hand to, would seduce her husband. She was also afraid that Shawn would not be able to resist the temptation. He was disdainful toward Lulu because she was not his type. However, Ivy matched his taste. Would all they had between them just vanish? Was it really that simple? The entire department became silent in the PR department of Wood Group as Shawn and Gale walked in. The director said very cautiously, Mr. Wood, please, this way. Entering the office, Shawn asked directly, "Where are the photos?" The director took out an envelope and handed it to him. Shawn took it, about to pour out its contents, but suddenly stopped, looking at Gale. "For you. Gale, you look," he said. Gale took it and flipped it over. With a clatter, dozens of photos spilled onto the desk. She glanced at them. Ivy looked stunning in the photos. Even from the paparazzi's awkward angle, Ivy remained captivating and flawless from every angle. Her beauty stood the scrutiny. The man beside Ivy was equally handsome, tall, and graceful. Gale picked up a photo. In it, Ivy leaned against Shawn's chest, head slightly bowed, her hair somewhat disheveled, cascading over her snow-white shoulders. Her shoulders were slightly shrugged, so pitifully inviting. What drew more attention was the gentleman's suit jacket draped over Ivy's shoulders. Chapter 1698. The jacket had slipped down to Ivy's waist, revealing the tight off-shoulder top she wore underneath, accentuating her perfect figure with graceful curves. She and Shawn were so intimate. No one but Gale should have been able to lean on Shawn's chest. No one but Gale should have been able to wear his jacket. What was going on? How did Ivy manage to get both? Gale examined each photo carefully. She thought she could stay calm while looking at them. Halfway through, she could not bear it anymore. Her hand trembled, and the photo slipped from her grasp with a clatter. "Gale." Shawn looked at her nervously. Gale took a deep breath. "I think you can explain now. Shawn, are the photos fake? Are they photoshopped? Or are they real?" "The photos are real." Her body swayed. Shawn admitted it. Well, of course. How could his jacket be draped over Ivy's shoulders? The Photoshop technology had not reached that level of detail. Ivy was also nestled in Shawn's embrace. "Last night, you went to attend a dinner, and this happened? Shawn, do you even deserve me?" Gale asked. Was it because she was not there, so he acted recklessly? Or did the people from the management company offer Ivy to him during the dinner? Or did Ivy actively seduce him, and he fell for it? Or did he already have feelings for Ivy? Gale did not dare to think about it. She had not felt the fear she was feeling in a long time. She suddenly realized that wholeheartedly loving someone meant handing over the chance of hurting oneself into the hands of the other person. She had handed over the chance of hurting herself to Shawn time and time again. Once he stopped loving her, once he betrayed her and chose someone else, it would be the beginning of her being wounded again. Shawn reached out and grabbed her shoulder. "Gale, the photos were taken by paparazzi. You know how the entertainment industry's paparazzi can manipulate angles for the story? The truth of the matter isn't what you see. The facts are right here. So, tell me, did Ivy snatch your jacket and put it on? Shawn, you're a clean freak. You don't like others touching your things. I know that better than anyone. I gave her the jacket, I just handed it to her, and she put it on herself. She was wearing a rather revealing outfit at the time, and I could see she was uncomfortable trying to cover up, so I offered to help," Shawn replied. Gale looked at him. "Are you really that kind-hearted? A lot happened at dinner, and it was complicated, and I couldn't explain it to you in a short time. Yeah, I don't understand your social life, your business empire, your aspirations, your dilemmas, and your predicaments. How could I understand you?" Gale said. Shawn furrowed his brow. "Don't say things out of anger. I'm not." Although she said so, there was still a lingering sense of suffocation in her heart. Shawn actually gave his jacket to Ivy. He treated her with special care. "Then what about you holding her?" Gale picked up the most ambiguous and intimate photo. "Don't tell me that Ivy was about to fall, and you just happened to help her up." Shawn pursed his lips. "That's exactly what happened." Gale could not help but laugh bitterly. Chapter 1699. She did not expect herself to guess it right away. "Gale, at your request, I went to help Ivy terminate her contract. How could I possibly be flirting with her?" Shawn sighed. "Moreover, even if I wanted something with her, yesterday evening would not have been my choice. I could have done it discreetly, and there was no rush. He could easily hide anything from Gale, and she would not know. Besides, Gale, if something did happen between us, do you think these photos would have surfaced so easily?" Shawn was trying to explain. He thought that by saying this, Gale would believe him. However, he underestimated her. A woman's thought process was completely different from a man's. Shawn attempted to reason logically, but all Gale heard was, "If I wanted to do this, then I would have done it differently." "Well, you're smart, resourceful, and powerful. If you wanted to cover something up, it would never see the light of day again." Gale replied. "Gale, that's not what I meant. Anyway, you gave Ivy the jacket, and you held her. Is not that true? Shawn nodded. Yes, but I explained why I gave her the jacket and held her. Gale bit her lip. She felt like a fool. She had worked so hard to select the spokesperson for Lovido, wanting to find a female star who perfectly matched her brand concept. Then, she settled on Ivy because she loved Ivy's personality and actively offered to help. After all she had done, was she just digging her own grave? She turned her head, looking at the photos, feeling even more distressed. Gaily, you said you believed in me. Shawn bent down, meeting her gaze. I love you so much. How could I ever do anything to hurt you for another woman? But you are indeed giving Ivy special treatment. That's because you like her. You are special to her, so I treat her special for your sake, Shawn replied. Otherwise, even if Shawn admired Ivy, he would not have given her a jacket, let alone help her up. You see, many women have tried to pretend to fall on him, hoping for a story with him. But every time, Shawn remained indifferent, even directly avoiding them, watching them fall to the ground, without a hint of pity. He would not even extend a hand to help, no matter how they fell. He would just calmly pass by, as if nothing had happened. Believe me, gaily. I only love you. Shawn softened his voice a little. She turned her head away, not looking at him. If I have even the slightest wrongdoing toward you, let me, Shawn, be struck by lightning and die a miserable death. That's enough. Gale was shocked to hear these oaths from him, her heart pounding, quickly stopping him from continuing. Shawn's gaze remained clear. Do you believe me now, gaily? Gale's heart wavered slightly. She had been scared by Summer's phone call. Chapter 1700. Now, she had calmed down, and her rational side returned. Shawn made sense. He could have done something with Ivy without leaving a trace if he truly wanted something with Ivy. How could the paparazzi have captured it and sent it to the company? It indicated he had no intention and did not even think twice about last night's actions with Ivy. He saw it as straightforward and not controversial. Little did he know that it was caught on camera, blown out of proportion, probably for a hefty hush fee. After all, if these photos were leaked, it would tarnish Shawn's image and the reputation of the Wood Group. However, Gale could not help but feel possessive. Why is it alright for Shawn to have strong possessiveness towards her, but not the other way around? He's her husband. If Ivy was about to fall, he could have helped for safety reasons. Gale could understand that. However, offering his coat was going the extra mile. When did Shawn become so considerate? This sort of thing might be normal for Joe or Orem, but not for Shawn. He's always been known for his aloofness. I believe you, Gale replied. Shawn relaxed, ready to pull her close. However, Gale pressed against his chest. I said believe, not forgive. There's no smoke without fire. Gale jabbed his heart with her finger. Firstly, you were too close to Ivy, which led to these photos. So, please self-reflect. Shawn looked helpless. I was just doing my job, but in the end, it's my fault. I sent you for business, not charity, and not to spend alone time with a beautiful woman. Gale remembered another thing. By the way, you were having dinner with her company. How did it turn into private time? In theory, after dinner and drinks, they should have left. At most, Shawn could exchange pleasantries with Ivy. Why was he handing her a coat and helping her up? What happened last night? Shawn was at a loss. Did he follow Ivy when she left? Were the people at the dinner trying to set him up with Ivy? Did he want to speak to Ivy alone? Enough, your hesitation is the best answer. Gale pushed him away. Shawn, you better sort this out and give me an explanation. With that, she left without looking back. Wait. Do not bother me. I do not want to see you right now. Shawn paused, ready to follow her. Meanwhile, the PR director wished he could disappear. He did not want to witness the argument between Mr. Wood and his wife, but he had nowhere to escape. He was afraid to be silenced by Mr. Wood after hearing all this. Now that his wife had left, it was only him and Mr. Wood in the office. Shawn finally noticed him. Shawn's stern gaze made the PR director shrink.